Now, Mike's Pet Peeves is merely my opinion, not the opinion of the Humane Society, the board, or anybody important. It's really just me talking to you. Today, we're going to talk about reversing. In a busy parking lot, there is no need to jump into your car, put the car in reverse, and then check your email while making a TikTok video while texting your boo, okay? Your car is in reverse. You have signaled to everybody else around you you're about to back up. You know, it's actually easier to do those texting, video making things you're doing without your brake pedal. You could just leave that thing in gear. It's gonna sit there. Your car doesn't need an app to run, okay? Secondly, reversing. Don't just jump in your car. I hate the people that just jump in their car and fly back 4 feet before they decide to look if we're in a busy parking lot or not. Really? I mean, the 3 extra seconds. When you reach around, put your seatbelt, take a glance. I don't know. And lastly, in the reversing category, if my reverse lights are on, that is not a memo for you to decide to walk behind my vehicle, okay? I don't put my vehicle in gear when there's somebody directly behind me. That's just, don't do that. So if my vehicle is in gear, you obviously looked and saw my white reverse lights and decided, well, hey, look, this guy's just lighting up the walkway for me. Maybe it's my turn to go. That's how accidents happen. And then you give me that face of, whoa. No, okay? You saw the lights. Don't get me. I can't stand that. What I can't stand more than that is people that pay outrageous amounts of money for dogs because they're breeded or they're AKC or that is ridiculous. I will have you know that I have known my fair share of very, 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 very special full-bred dogs. I mean, yeah, she was a special one. And then I've known dogs that came from the Humane Society that were trainable. It doesn't matter just to have that label. The only time we as humans really matter about what the pedigree is if you belong to a monarchy or the Kennedys. And that really hasn't worked out well for any of those people. So the pedigree doesn't mean jack. What really matters, all dogs, whether they're purebred and champion, whether they're purebred and or whether they're just mutts, they all want to love and they all need to be loved back. On that note, hi Dina, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing very good. So we have just come off of a very exciting, very long, but very exciting weekend.
Yes, we have.
So?
Happy Tales. You know, it was our 16th annual.
Yay!
And you know, so much work goes into this because what most people don't realize is we've already started on next year's Happy Tales.
Right.
You know, but it's probably, as Debbie put it last month, one of the most amazing days of the year because it really shows the support that our Humane Society gets from the community and from the people, and that people believe in what we're doing for these homeless animals. So that being said, it was a very successful event again. Next month we'll have some figures put together and no more. Now we're just kind of going, whew,
all right.
Another good one behind us, you know?
Huge thank you to all the volunteers. And as you were just saying, it's amazing the support. You know, there's all kinds of social unrest, whether you call it this or that, or it was amazing that throughout this COVID stuff, we still had all these volunteers come together. And really, it was all about the animals.
It was. And you know, Mike, with that note, I'd like to take just a minute and thank all the volunteers, all of you. All of you make a difference. But there were some that stepped up and helped extra. And that would be Terry before she left on her vacation, and then Mary, Gloria, Gail. They were down at the donation center every day so that I didn't have to be. They accepted the donations, they processed them, they made beautiful baskets. So some of those, Tracy, and to anyone that spent your time down there helping get us ready, and to Debbie, who's my right hand, who supported me, and Jeanette, who's gone above and beyond, just starting with us in the company, and got everything that I needed done in a timely manner. So, but thank you to everybody. But those ones deserve a special thank you from me, because without them, helping get it all put together, it would have been a lot more of a headache.
We, as president of the board, need you to keep your sanity. So without those volunteers, that we are very grateful that you had them to help you to keep your sanity.
Yeah. And like I say, all the volunteers that go out and get the donations, and to all the donors that make this happen.
So many.
And a lot of people don't realize that everything there is donated.
Right.
So all the money we make that day comes right back to these homeless animals. And we've been averaging over 100 homeless animals a month that come through our doors. It just seems like we're not catching any kind of a break. And you mentioned the purebred. I want to talk about that, because a lot of people don't think to look at your local shelter. Look at us. We've got 3 purebred Rottweilers right now, have had them for a while. We get purebred. We had the purebred chocolate lab a while back, Bella, that had some medical problems, and she had a litter of puppies. And the purebreds, and I'm going to tell you my personal experience with the difference between a purebred in my life and an all-American shelter dog is the purebreds so often have more medical problems.
Right.
They really and truly do. Before I ever came to work here, my son bought a German short hair. She got parvo as a puppy, and she had stomach problems her whole life. And then he got him a chocolate lab, which I say he got, but they come and live with us because he's not home enough to take care of a dog. So, and the chocolate lab died of cancer, So I've got 3 all rescued from our own shelter. One's a 3-legged dog, and she's probably, I don't have any health issues until they get older.
Right.
My first foster failure, Pumbaa, was just, we just found out probably last month that she's probably got cancer. She's 13 years old, still doing good, and until something changes with her, she'll continue to live the happy life she has.
Right.
But when it's that time, which is always very hard for people to know, when it's that time, you have to do what's right for them. You have to love them enough to free them from their pain. And that's a hard thing to do.
I had a very close friend that had to make that decision just a couple weeks ago, and yes, it's always sad when somebody close to you has to make that decision.
Yeah.
It brings back the decision you had to make so many years ago, and it is a sad connecting bond.
Yeah.
But it does, because we understand how deep that pain is, and how hard that decision is to make that go.
You always second guess yourself on it. So, but that being said, once that decision is made and you let your loved one go, a lot of people I've watched since I've been at the shelter, a lot of people will wait for years, and others immediately need something to fill that hole. Because being animal lovers, Mike, we both know that they fill a place that we didn't even know needed to be filled.
Mostly the backyard.
Yeah, they do that. But, and what I like to tell people too is that you can never replace the one you lost.
Right.
They don't want you to replace them, but they do. I believe that our loved pets, as they pass on, want us to go somewhere and rescue another one and give them the love that we need to let go.
And that was another thing, is a shelter dog is actually, because it had to be in a bad place, generally speaking, to come to the shelter. Shelter dogs are more loving. I would think they're almost easier to train, because once again, they're really trying hard to please their new forever home.
That's exactly it.
And you see the purebred, and I have a 3/4 purebred. She's allergic to 30 things.
Yes.
30
That doesn't surprise
it's
me.
It's a purebred. It's
Yeah.
AK. Bah.
There goes the health things we just talked
Right,
about, you know?
right.
And you're right. The shelter dog does always, I hear it all the time. This is the best dog I've ever had.
Right.
You know? And the cats are loving too. Don't forget the cats,
I
Mike.
know.
You know?
I tend to do that.
So, you know what though? There's dog people and there's cat people, and then there's people that love them both but prefer one over the other.
I am definitely
You
that
know?
one. I am definitely that one.
Yeah. So, but shelter animals, all they want to do is give you whatever you want.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And if that means they're going to learn to sit down, whatever, they're going to do it.
And they
you know?
usually fall pretty well into your routine. Now, let's not every one is always a perfect fit for every family.
Right.
And that's also a beauty of being a shelter. You can come and get to play with this animal and see if your animals are going to adapt well.
Right.
And after hanging out with this dog, hey, this one's a little too much. Maybe I need to go for the other Rottweiler. So I love that you actually, I don't want to call it window shopping, but you almost get to find your perfect match going through this process.
Sure. And you know what? It fits your lifestyle.
Right.
Active, not so active, calm, crazy household, you know? And there's always a dog or a cat that'll fit those homes. You know, I like to tell people a lot of times if I'm showing them what animals we have, what are you looking for?
Right.
And what is your lifestyle?
Right.
Meaning the activity level, the calmness or the loudness of your home. And you know, because we never want to set the adopter or the animal up for failure. Because I watch dogs sometimes when they go out and it's not that perfect fit. And they come back and it's almost like, what did I do wrong? You know, and give them time to settle into all this, because it takes all these animals time to decompress. Shelter life is not easy. It's great, actually, at our shelter. It really is for these guys, but they're used to a routine there.
Right.
So when they get to your house, they have to learn your routine. So give them time, and I guarantee you will feel nothing but love for them in no time.
So when you are ready to make that addition to your family, instead of paying $1,500 for a purebred, come down to the shelter, adopt one, and then donate the extra $1,300 you would have spent on that dog. We'll be back in just a couple moments with more Paw Prints on the Mountain, brought to you by the Humane Society of the White Mountains. Welcome back to Paw Prints on the Mountain, brought to you by the Humane Society of the White Mountains. I'm your host, Mike Bosley. Today, and just like a lot of the time, we're joined by the young and only Dina Pace. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Well, I'm flattered.
Well,
young.
Yes, we're all young at heart. And to do your job, you have a lot of energy. You really...
Probably more than I think.
You really probably do. Speaking of energy, so now that we're going to decompress from Happy Tales, we do have an event coming up very soon this month, more towards the end of this month.
Yes.
And so Run to the Pines Car Show is a huge landmark of an event here in the White Mountains, some 36, 35, it's a big number. Yeah. And the Humane Society has done something with them in partnership for a long time. Tell us about this.
We have. So what we do is, again, volunteers. Our volunteers will go up and we get it all organized and set up, and they pet sit for people that want to visit and see the cars. Because really, if I had one of those cars out there in the field and someone brought a dog up and it raised its leg and, peed on my tire, I would not be a happy camper.
No.
So they ask that you don't bring your dogs into where the cars are. So we pet sit. And we don't charge. We just ask for a donation. If you can make a donation, great. If you cannot, Okay, we're still going to pet sit for you. So we sit up there all day on Saturday.
Okay.
And we get up there Friday afternoon setups. So it's all day Saturday and half the day Sunday while the car show's going on. And we pet sit. And if your dog needs, we have kennels set up. We take them for walks. If we ask if we can give them treats. If not, they don't get a treat. If they can, they get a good amount of treats, not over amount to give them the diarrhea. That's what I mean. We definitely monitor how much treats they get. And so all that is to help the people that are showing their cars and the people that want to come and look at them.
All right.
So, and then of course, before that, or on Saturday, we'll have another crew over there at the parade. We'll have a float in the parade.
That's right. So you'll obviously, people in the parade will see you and you'll run around with your usual cans?
Absolutely, with our canisters, yep. And if you can throw in some spare change or some bills or something in there, all that money comes back to the Humane Society.
I will tell you, so I was sitting in the 4th of July parade and feeling guilty because the rest of the Humane Society float was going by and I was just sitting there with my son. So I threw a couple bucks in the can. I felt guilty. And I will tell you at the next board meeting, those pennies, anything you toss in is a huge help. I was amazed how much we were able to raise in that parade.
Yeah.
Now she's upset because I've let my secret out that I didn't do anything for the last parade. Great.
You know what? You've got a young man at home, a very cute baby at home. These are crucial times. You need to sit and watch the parade with your son.
Well, thank you.
You absolutely do.
I did feel guilty about it.
Well, we can get you to help us put the float together. How's that?
There we go.
There you go.
Wait
but don't feel guilty about it, Mike, because you know what? Family always has to come first. And but yeah, all that money adds up. And you know how I look at any fundraiser we go into or any event we do is every dollar we get that day is $1 more than we started with.
Right.
And you'd be surprised how far we can stretch that dollar.
Now, speaking of dollars, I've noticed the parking lot at the Doghouse Thrift Shop has been a little more full recently.
Yes, it has. The Doghouse, of course, a lot of people don't realize that the Doghouse Thrift Shop is the Humane Society's, and it is our everyday income. So when you donate over there, they get it all ready, get it out on the floor, and when you shop there, everything comes right back to the shelter every day to support those homeless animals. And everything that we sell in there is donated. So again, just like Happy Tales, it's all donations that make this money for these animals.
Now, I'd like to reiterate the fact, the request for the donations for the Doghouse Thrift Shop, we don't want your junk, okay? We're going to put it that way. We don't want your junk. We are looking for new or gently used items. As anybody in this economy knows, employees aren't necessarily cheap this day and age. That is when you can find employees. So the hours that the employees at the Doghouse Thrift Shop have to do all of their jobs, they don't need to be sorting out your garbage. They do have a lot going on. They have a huge, if you've never actually been in the Doghouse Thrift Shop, the interior is huge. It's so deceiving. You're like, oh, there's nothing in there. You walk in, there's like 3 massive ballrooms worth of stuff. So to keep all of this running, we need to keep the donations to pristine or slightly itty-bittyly under pristine. Now, of course, the better the item, the more money that's going to be raised for the Doghouse Thrift Shop.
Absolutely.
And we would like to put items out there that are going to raise money, not the 50-cent flip-flops with the beer tab thing at the bottom.
Right. And it not only is time if they, if really the donations should have gone into the trash, it also cost us money to dispose of them.
Right. Yes.
So, and unfortunately, Well, let me tell you, the positive of that is, thankfully, so many people do bring us only good things.
Wonderful.
You know,
Wonderful.
but there's always those some that think that we can be their garbage place. But us being your garbage place cost us money. That means that takes money away from the animals.
You're hurting.
You're not helping.
Yeah, you're coming to help, but at the same time, it's counterproductive.
Absolutely.
Of dropping off stuff that is unsellable.
Absolutely. So anyway, that is our everyday income. And, you know, volunteers too. There's not only staff, there's volunteers over there.
This is true.
There's volunteers at the shelter. We can't do what we do without our volunteers, because there's no way, Mike, as you said, if you can find people to work, we can't pay what a lot of these places are paying now. We pay minimum wage, and so you really have to believe in our cause. So that's where our volunteers come in and help us. You know, we've got opportunity for volunteers in all different areas at our doghouse and also over at the shelter, and obviously in our fundraising efforts. So volunteers is something that's crucial to our organization.
There's another form of volunteer that is more of an at-home volunteer. And
Absolutely.
They are absolutely crucial to our mission as well. Would you expand on that, please?
Absolutely. So it's fosters.
That's right.
Fosters for animals that need to be out of the shelter, whether it's like a mama cat or dog with a litter. They're safer in a home than they are at the shelter. And safer, I mean, because of disease and everything that could come in, and they're very vulnerable until they start their vaccinations. So fosters, and we supply everything for them. If it's a cat, we give you the litter, the box, the everything. If it's a dog, we give you pee pads, we give you blankets, we give you, you know, whatever you need, and food, of course, for the animals. Some fosters actually say, no, I'm gonna pay for it. Some are not able to. Either way, fosters are invaluable. I mean, we can't do it without our fosters. And so if you're not a foster, come out, fill out paperwork, sign up to be a foster. Sometimes we need medical fosters. So if you've got some medical experience, you know, like if we have an amputation go on, or we've talked about the dog, the Rottweiler that has mammary cancer. She had one surgery. She's getting ready for another mammary surgery. She'll need to go into a foster because they need a quiet atmosphere and someone that can give the medications and stuff, and,
Right.
and watch the wound and all that. So to be a foster, and I've done that end of it also, it's a very rewarding, heartbreaking
Yes.
situation. And sometimes I call it foster fail, but it's actually foster happenings. It's a love thing, you know. But to know that you're making a difference and you're teaching them. Once these puppies, I say because cats learn very quickly, kittens do on a litter box from their mom. Puppies need to learn, hey, I need to go to the door because I need to go outside and go to the bathroom. Or when they need to be bottle fed and they need to be stimulated and they need to be burped, any of these animals, it's so rewarding knowing that you literally saved their life.
I can only imagine.
And that's what we need people to be, help us save them. You can be that lifesaver by fostering for us.
So come fill out some paperwork, become a foster, become a volunteer. Now, as Dina just said, when you get to be a foster, Humane Society hooks you up with everything, food included. Now, that is not free necessarily to the Humane Society. I mean, that does come to us. But there is a really cool program that is able to give back to us just through stuff that you were going to buy anyways.
Absolutely.
Or just add it to your shopping list. Tell us about Amazon Smiles.
Okay, so on Amazon, anyone can go to Amazon Smiles and pick a charity that they want to support. So in other words, every time you shop there, a percentage of that comes to the charity of your choice. So go into Amazon Smile, pick the Humane Society of the White Mountains, and we get checks from Amazon quarterly.
Who doesn't buy stuff off Amazon? Everybody buys stuff off of Amazon. All you've got to do is check the Humane Society of the White Mountains.
And on our Amazon Smile, we have a wish list.
Oh, well, it makes it easy.
Which is things that the shelter needs for these animals. So you can look on there and go, you know, if you're looking for us, then you can look and see what our wish list is, and throw it in your cart and have it sent directly to us. There's some lady that we get boxes twice a week from Amazon because she's picking off our wish list.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and her name's Debbie, and she's been doing this for several months now. I mean, we get things from scrub brushes to squeegees to cat toys to dog puzzles to everything to help the shelter run. And if you don't want to do our wish list, then you can just go and shop under us as your choice of charity.
Okay.
The other part of that is we've got a Chewy.com wish list too.
Oh, sweet.
Where you could go to Chewy. We've got things that are there for the shelter, and it comes directly to us.
I actually shop at both of those places from time to time.
So and the thing is, also on our website, which is hswm.org, we have a wish list. If you're at the store and you're doing some shopping and you go, you know what, the Humane Society always needs laundry soap or they need bleach. Let me just pick a couple up, or some canned dog food, canned cat food, some litter, and I'll just drop it off out there. These are all things that help us because we are not federally supported by federal or by any big animal organizations. We're our own entity, and that's why we need our community to continue to help support us.
So we look forward to seeing you out there to the Run to the Pines car show. Of course, visit hswm.org to look for an adoption, to look for the wish list, or to get the sign-up form to become a volunteer. Either way, we look forward to seeing you, and we'll see you next time right here, Paw Prints on the Mountain, brought to you by the Humane Society of the White Mountains. See ya.